All right, welcome back to Off the Tap. This week is episode 79, and we're doing Stesti Brewing Company's Blueberry Lager.
Da was ist Stravia zesty?
Cheers. That's apparently what that means. We're just finding out.
Yeah, so it's a seasonal brew for them. I wonder we'll have to get the run time or not the run time, but I guess the seasonal run on this one.
Yeah.
Um, but so beer's proof. I don't know if they put this on every can. Oh man, there's more Polish, I guess, on the back of the can. But beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. A phrase attributed to our Ben Franklin Czech brewmaster have a similar saying. Dej bustesti. God gives happiness.
Mm.
The
Stesti means
blueberry.
happiness.
I think Stesti means happiness. I'm pretty sure. So the
Interesting.
brewing company is just happiness. They write it on every can.
Happiness Brewing Company.
Yeah, enjoy the
It's interesting.
happiness. Navase Stravia Zesty.
I, I don't know if is it Polish or it's a Czech lager.
Okay, well, I mean,
So
maybe
maybe
it's
it's Czech. Okay.
Czechoslovakian.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, Our blueberry lager is brewed using Pilsner and Munich malts, a balance of bittering and aromatic hops, blueberries, and extended cold fermentation. It's an unfiltered, extended fermented.
I was trying to figure out when they seasonally brew this, and I couldn't find it on their website. So
I
um,
mean, we've had it for a couple of weeks, right? But I don't remember. For some reason, it screams. I know it's not a strawberry lager, but it screams like summer for me. Maybe anything fruity
see,
screams
I was
summer.
gonna say it's one of their winter ones.
It probably is, obviously, if we're able to get it right now. I'm just saying, to me, anything that's fruited just screams like spring or summer more so than fall.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's valid. I think that's because there's so many strawberry things,
Yeah.
and so we're so used to that. But I've only ever had one other blueberry beer, and it was incredible. So
Was it Wild Blue?
no,
Okay, because I think Wild Blue, I'm not to get off the subject of Stesti. This is the only other like craft brew. I know you're going to correct me in 10 seconds, but we used to get Wild Blue seasonally, and I want to say it was the same time of year, so maybe blueberries are like a wintry thing. But we used
yeah, I
to
think they are.
in like January we used to get it in Louisiana, and it was Wild Blue, and there was one dude that was just like super turned on to it. And like at first I was like, dude, first off, at that point in my life I was not like a fruity beer kind of guy. And I was like, yeah, fuck that. I don't need fruit in my beers,
You really want those
obviously.
straight beers?
My eyes opened my eyes opened up, my palate matured. Anyways, nonetheless, Wild Blue became something that we would seek out. I think Anheuser-Busch owns that or brews that or something like that, so maybe it's mass produced and mass distributed. But this is the only other one that I've seen. I know there's probably a number, but this is the
Oh,
only other one
really?
that I've seen aside from Wild Blue. Yeah, and we used to
No, no,
fucking
no.
crush Wild Blue.
I went to a what we could call a local watering hole over here in Conroe, Texas, and
Yeah.
they had one. It was from another craft brewer, I think in like Dallas or something, UFO something or whatever. But it was a blueberry lager and it was delicious. I had like three of them.
Ooh, you know what it smells like? It smells like a bag of muffin mix. That's what it smells
Hmm.
like. But I'm gonna go ahead and give her a little pour here.
Yeah, this comes in at 5.7% ABV. I could not get the IBUs on this one, so we're winging it on the IBU sitch.
Winging it. All right, let me show you something. So it smells like beer
Oh,
at
it
the
smells
bottom,
so
but it
good.
smells like muffin mix at the top. I mean, beautiful color,
Oh yeah.
beautiful head. Dude, it's also a fairly thick. I mean, it's starting to thin now, but I almost wish you could get a a look at the top. It has a very dense headed foam. A little bit, it's
It's
unfiltered, as we mentioned. It's a little bit, so it's got a little bit of murkiness to it. I tried to like do a pretty decent incorporated pour. But yeah, pretty. It's almost got like I'm gonna say like a clove honey look to it. If
oh,
you've had like a bunch of in East Texas, we kind of get blessed and cursed to clove honey because I love, the bees go out and they get all the freaking
right.
clover, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, that's nasty because it's got like a smoky flavor to it, and I don't really like it. And the high prized honeys out in East Texas are the ones that are not clove honey, but I fucking love clove honey.
Yeah. I
Anyways,
mean, I love honey in general, but yeah, I agree here.
all right, so I'm gonna give her a little.
Yeah, it
I
smells
mean, dude, this
incredible. I'm gonna
it
get in
does.
here.
This I hope like okay, well let's just do it, but I don't want to be disappointed.
Mm, it's
Dude.
pretty dang
All right.
good.
Yeah, that is very good. It finishes, I bet you this is a situation because it's been in a can. It finishes a little bit metallic for me, but everything else is spot on.
It's got to be the can. It has
It
to
had
be.
do you are you not getting it? Or are
No,
you
I get
getting
it
it?
a little bit, but I have a feeling that that's not the intent. You know what I mean? And it does kind of make you wonder
Dude,
when it is seasonal. If we are getting a little bit of a metallic in it,
yeah, like I mean,
you know?
could these cans have been on the shelf? Like I wonder if we went to Stesti and got it on draft, if they offer it that way, if it would take out
Mm.
some of that metallicness. But dude, a lot of things to unwrap here
Mm.
before we get into anything else we want to talk about. First things first. I was scared it was going to be, I've talked about this in the past, but I was scared it was going to be very artificial blueberry, which it's not at all.
No, no, not
I
at all.
I think the like maybe the way that the malt or something is what's adding that, like not in a bad way. I always start off like this, not in a bad way, but it does give me like that muffin thickness. Like sometimes I'm not comparing it to Miller Lite, right? But like when I drink Miller Lite, sometimes it's like having a light bread in a can. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like having a loaf of
Hmm.
white bread in a can, which is extremely awesome. This has like a breadiness to it, maybe because of the way that the malt is put together, but blueberry. So it does have like a muffin mix to it. It's got just the right amount of craftiness. I don't want to talk it up too much because we're not at the end here yet, but it's got just
Mm.
enough craftiness to it too, where you're like, oh, like it's a beer that they spent time on, but none of the aspects are overwhelming. What is your initial
No.
take?
Yeah, nothing. First of all, this is incredibly smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't really linger anywhere if that makes sense. You know, like it coats the mouth a little bit, but not but it doesn't linger too much, you know?
One more quick thing that you just made me think of when you said linger that I want to point out. I don't know if you are experiencing this, but like it comes in and when it changes from the initial intake to the aftertaste, there's like a little second where you're like, I don't want that taste to last any longer. This is weird. I
Yeah.
don't want that one particular note to last any longer because if it does, I'm not going to enjoy this. And I'd be damned if as soon as I thought that, it went away.
Yeah, it goes away pretty quick. I know what you're talking about here. But yeah, no, I agree pretty much with everything else you said. I mean, I too was worried that it was going to be a little artificial because I feel like some beers do that, you know, especially
Yeah.
some of the strawberries. Some of the strawberry stuff does get pretty artificial tasting, but it's always nice whenever you get a craft brew that's going to be nice and natural tasting.
Yeah. Wow. I listen, and I don't want to revisit because I know that we've had a couple of we did one, the tractor juice for
Yeah, we did
sure.
one Stesti. We loved the Stesti.
And then I've had a couple of other Stesties in my own personal time. I do enjoy a Stesty here and there, and they were delicious too. So I think Stesty's batting like 1,000 for me right now.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna have to be careful with these blue Stesties though.
Ooh, nothing's worse than a blue Stesty.
Nothing's worse, man. You could grab a 6 pack of these, you might be in danger, brother.
Blue
You know,
Stesty make you do some crazy things. You know what I'm saying?
they will.
But
Yes, they will.
at 5.7 though, here's the other thing too. Maybe obviously we've had some beers that are drastically more and then you go out on the town and you got some that sneak up on you. But at 5.7, I know that's not like super potent, but at 5.7 it doesn't taste like a 5.7
No, it does
at
not.
all.
I could dangerously drink a lot of these in one sitting.
Yeah. And one more thing that I'll put on there is like sometimes with some of the sours or some of I've had some other fruit infused, right? Even like the
Mm-mm.
strawberry harvest or some of the others. They have like a syrupiness that like weighs on you over time. I don't obviously I've only had one of these or a third of one, but I don't
Yeah.
feel like I'm going to get to that point where there's an overwhelming sweetness or an overwhelming syrupiness because of the infusion of the blueberry that's going to make me want to stop drinking it.
Yeah,
So
no,
again, danger.
that's my one downfall with sours because I do love sours, but after you have so many of them, your mouth just isn't the same. You know,
Dude,
it's just weird.
again, I don't want to go to the end. I don't want to jump to the end as much as people would probably love that to not have to listen to the middle. But it's almost like it's blueberry and it's all the things that I already previously described, but also like it drinks independent like a different beer.
It's,
Like it pays homage to the blueberry and the blueberries in there, but like even if you don't like blueberries, don't think that you can't enjoy this as a beer is what I'm
yeah,
trying to say. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You still would like it as a beer on its own. You're saying?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One last thing, obviously the very prominent, now we know that it's happiness, right? But the very prominent Stesti on the can. I like that they have some consistency across the brand.
Yeah.
Obviously they have like a what is it, hyper no, that's back pew. I don't want to mix brands here. But
Uh
Stesti has even when we did the tractor juice, that Stesti font, even though the coloring's slightly different, the banding is always similar. So I like something that's recognizable, even if there are seasonals or even if there are a bunch of different versions, right?
yeah.
Um,
It's a solid branding. Like you're gonna see it and know where it's from immediately.
yes.
Not just because the
Um,
name is large, but because all the cans look very similar.
yes.
Yeah. They also they do make seltzers, which
Do
is
they?
interesting. But here's the thing. I recently have gone to some. I was telling you about this. Recently gone to some brewery like trivia night things,
Yeah.
and I went a few weeks ago. I guess it was like before Christmas, but I went and I had one of their seltzers, one of the brewery near us seltzers, and it was not a seltzer that everyone knows. It was completely different.
Was it more like a
It's
barmaid vodka soda or something?
no, this was legitimately almost more like like a cider. Like it tasted like apple skins. You know what I mean?
Was it like fermented that way, or
I
was it
guess because it wasn't
was it
like a
clear?
no, it was not clear.
Then I think maybe that's a brand, like not maybe a labeling issue.
It was sold as a seltzer,
Was
but I
it
don't
good?
know. I mean, I liked it, yeah.
Maybe it was like a beer champagne, but
Maybe.
not the champagne of
But I
beers.
was just like it wasn't like a seltzer, you know. So, anyways, that's what I'm wondering here with this if these are actually like seltzers that they make with malt or whatever or if this is more or less like that same kind of vibe cuz they make three seltzers here at Stesti as well.
Also, Stessi's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Lovelady's kind of just up there, kind of
Yeah.
trapped between the 59 and 45
Hey,
corridor in the no man's land up
it's
there.
just happiness, you know.
Yeah, dude, they found a little piece of happiness and they want everybody to celebrate it.
They want everybody to celebrate the happiness with them
Navasi
with a little bit of
Strazia.
a blue Stesti. They want to
I
give
don't
us
know.
blue
I don't know if they're
Stesties.
I don't know if they're handing out blue Stesties to celebrate, but there's got to be something for everybody.
Yeah. They got a pretty good selection up there.
We're probably pronouncing it incorrectly because there's a fancy dot above the I. You know what I mean?
Stesti?
Stestai, multiple Stesties. Ha!
Yeah.
Bro, the boys came over. I felt like shit the next morning. What was it? The Stestai? What is that? Multiple Stesties?
We had so many Stesties.
Bro, if had it
Mm.
not been for the Stestai, I would have made my interview on time and gotten that job.
Yeah. All this damn Stesti is touching my lips, man.
Die.
Testi. Hmm.
So,
Oh.
speaking of, one thing that I wanted to bring up was I just feel, I mean, I love that. I mean, now I'm going to feel terrible for bringing this up, but I feel as if, like, I love this beer, but I feel like with the blueberry, us as whoever's naming the berries, I don't know if there's a committee, if there's a board, whoever it is that decided to name the berries back in the day. There's actually a comedian, I can't think of his name. He's awfully funny, but he does a little bit of a bit on why we named a certain berry a certain way. I'll get into that in a minute. I'll give a shout out to him, but I just feel like we were awful lazy when we named the blueberry. And here's why. Because we've got the strawberry. I don't know the story on that. It makes no sense to me, but nonetheless, we got fancy with the naming.
Strawberry. Yeah, why is it a strawberry?
And we're gonna let Google or Bing. Dude, okay, this is the
Okay,
one.
well,
Listen, this is the one time where I'll let Bing run with this because I feel like whatever it's gonna return is gonna be even more off the fucking hook than
okay.
what Google would. But anyway, okay. So, we got the strawberry, right? We've got the
Yeah.
we got raspberries. I don't know. That always seems real elegant to me. We have what I called them growing up a dewberry, but I think it might just be a play on a blackberry.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, also raspberry. We always pronounce raspberry wrong.
it's rasp.
Yeah, and nobody's pronouncing the P
No, it's rasp.
raspberry. In fact, it makes the word almost impossible to say. With one like, raspberry. It doesn't make sense. You almost have to take a pause to say berry.
Okay, listen,
Raspberry.
raspberry, just like disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you guys hoping there was like some killer kick-ass story about this, it's pretty lame. It makes sense, but like somebody could have lied and spiced it up a little better. Like I want the Hollywood version of this story, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the old English word for strawberry is strewberries. And in that language, strew and straw were both used to mean to spread or scatter. And the
Mm,
strawberry is known for
this
spreading, so
got
it
it.
perfectly describes. But I think most berries are like that. In fact, the only berry that's probably not like that is the blueberry.
Mm.
But anyways, I just feel like it's lame. We were like, oh, we've got this raspberry, we've got this strawberry. If if that's how you tit your tat with your pronunciation, and then
We got
uh, what?
the blackberry.
The blackberry also, like I said, I called them dewberries growing up because they were always just like out
Yeah.
and about, just like in a shady ass ditch somewhere. But
Super
yeah,
sketchy. That was like a thing when we were kids. We would just go out and pick them and wash them off and eat them.
yeah, dude, I remember picking up like trash on the side of the road and there would just be like berries and I would be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, move that Sonic cup and that bag of dog shit. Look at those
Look
blackberries."
at those dewberries right there.
Yeah, dewberries. So I guess the blackberry is also kind of lame, but like I think you could have called blueberries are more purple than anything too, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Oh, yes, very much. In
Um,
fact, they're almost violet,
yeah.
which is like a dark
Uh,
purple.
is the term indigo? I believe.
Hmm. Maybe.
Um,
Wasn't that part of like the whole plot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or
Violet was her name,
right? Violet was her name, and she turned
but
into a grape, right? Or did she
she,
turn into a blueberry?
I think it was the blueberry,
I think so.
bro. We're gonna have to.
It wasn't a grape. I don't know why I said grape.
No, no. What did Violet
Turn into it.
turn into? Oh, it was a blueberry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's like a blueberry pie at the end of the gum that she's eating or something, right?
Indeed, and she was like they all had their claim to fame when it came to candy. I don't know, like
Yeah.
there was like the one kid that always watched TV. I don't Johnny with the pistols or whatever. You remember that guy?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there was the big chunky kid that always ate all the chocolate. He had like a world record for chocolate.
Yeah.
And then
And there
she was
was
like a gum chewer, right?
yeah.
She had chewed gum for some record.
And then the other girl was just a spoiled rich girl that her
Yeah,
daddy bought
the
the
whole
ticket.
factory of people to open them up or whatever, right?
No. He bought the golden ticket from somebody.
Oh wow. I don't remember all the details, but either way, so back to where we were at. I can't think of the comedian's name, but he does a stand up about the boysenberry.
The poisonberry?
No, the boysenberry,
Oh,
and he
okay.
goes, "Listen, we've got one word that is like, don't eat that, and that word is poison." So I don't know
Yeah.
who was able to name a berry
Well,
very close. Also, what the hell is a
wait,
poison?
hold on. Is it a boy? I thought it was a poisonberry.
No, it's a boysenberry.
No shot.
Swear, it's a boysenberry.
My whole life, I've thought it was a poisonberry.
No, you would think it's a poisonberry because there's no reason they should be that similar in how they're pronounced. But it's a boysenberry, B
Because
O Y.
immediately in my brain, I thought, what an incredible tactic by somebody who was foraging for food and found this incredible berry, and a nearby tribe was like, "Ooh, I want that. What's that?" And he came over and was like, "Hey, no, man, that's a poison berry,"
No.
so that he could bring it back for his tribe.
Ooh, possibly.
You
Possibly,
know,
but
that's
dude, get this. I'm glad we went down this pathway. So check this out. A boysenberry. Dude, this just validated, but also is awful confusing. So the boysenberry is really like an orgy of all of the country's berries. Okay? It's a
a way to
cross
put it.
between a European raspberry,
Okay.
the European
Raspberry.
blackberry.
Okay.
Dude, you ready for this? The American dewberry. So it is a real thing.
It is a thing. Look at that.
And the Loganberry. Yet again, justification for we got lazy calling it a blueberry. There's one out there called the Loganberry, okay? But
Logan.
but basically you mix all of them together and they become basically looks exactly like a blackberry, but it's like a deep maroon color and not black. We're gonna check out what the dewberry is.
I
Closely
want to.
related to the black. Go ahead.
I just want to. I want to point out something else real quick about blueberries. To me,
Yeah.
I love eating them out of the package. You know,
Yeah,
don't
me
get me
too.
wrong. Like I do enjoy them, but when we're talking like surface area per bite, you know, if you're throwing one berry in, you're not really getting much,
Oh no, it's a murder by numbers thing. But you know what I like about
and
them?
they go so fast.
They do go so fast. But what makes them the superior berry? I mean, I don't know. You could say this about strawberries too, but what makes them the superior berry, to, in my opinion, is a blackberry, a raspberry, a dewberry. They're all gritty.
Okay.
The blueberry, it's not gritty. The skin can sometimes have some texture to it, but it's not gritty.
I don't know. I do love me some blackberry though.
I mean, I like blackberries too, but they no doubt everyone has to admit that you got a little bit of refuse that you got to chew through
Yeah,
occasionally.
you do.
The blueberry is not like that.
No, it's not. It's just always to me like you get that little container from the store, you know, and you bring it back home and you're like, well, I could go for some blueberries. And you feel like you're like halfway through that container by the time you're like, man,
Those are good.
I guess now I could stop,
Well, the other thing
you
too to
know?
remember is like you're like, oh, I'm just gonna have a couple of blueberries, and the next thing you know, you've eaten the $15 worth of blueberries that you
That's what
brought
I'm
home.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like bang for your buck. It's kind of the worst, you know, the worst berry out there. Cause like
Yeah,
even when you get blackberries in a container, it's like you might not be get in my brain like you're probably not getting as much or probably the same, right?
well, it's all
Like
based on weight. Yeah.
yeah, so you're probably getting roughly the same, but like it feels more. It feels like a lot more when it's like blackberries or strawberries or whatever. You know, I don't know.
I also feel like they go better with things like so like if I'm eat, how
Mm,
there's all these fancy yogurts and stuff, like in
yeah.
my opinion there's two things you put in a yogurt. Maybe three things you put in a yogurt. Fresh yogurt, right? So you
Yeah.
got the Greek yogurt. The only things you add to it, I'll do blueberries,
Mhm.
I'll do granola,
Yeah.
and I'll do honey. Those are the things that go
Mhm.
in my opinion, that go in. I don't want blackberries in there. I don't want raspberries in there. I don't even really like strawberries in there because
Mm.
of the grittiness. Also, to me, a blueberry really is more closely related in my mind to a plum.
A plum, huh?
Yeah, I think
Well,
that they're
a plum could be like a large blueberry. I kind of get it.
yeah. So like if you take the raspberry, the blackberry, the dewberry, all of those things, and put them in like one little like bucket, they're all gonna look this
Yeah, they're like all one little family.
correct. But I think that the blueberry itself is more closely related to a plum, kind of like a cherry, dude. A cherry to me is just like a small, more approachable version of a plum.
Yeah, I can see that.
Real quick, on the dewberry itself, it's related to the blackberry. They're small, trailing rather than upright or high arching brambles with aggregate fruits reminiscent of the raspberry, but are usually purple to black instead of red. Alternatively, they're sometimes referred to as ground berries. So that's definitely what we were
Yeah,
picking.
that's 100% what it was. Yeah.
And also the picture is like, think, think about a blackberry. They like get to a pretty decent full size, and their beads or whatever they are all about uniform in size. The dewberry has like some big beads, some small beads, and
Yeah.
they're real small and like octagonal. It's very weird.
Incredibly sketchy that we were just, 5, 6 years old out there foraging in the ditch next to the road
Yeah,
for
dude,
dewberries. You know.
but when they're ready, dude,
Oh, they're
they are
incredible. They're
delish.
delicious. You just literally you go pick almost for like 3 hours. If you find a good enough little patch, you can pick for a long time,
Oh
and you
yeah,
fill
dude.
up like a good bucket full, and you take it home. I swear that bucket's gone in like 2 days
I
because people
also
just sit around eating them.
for some reason, I don't remember if it was just one particular place around our house, but like I always felt like there was certain prime time. Like you could be walking and you would be like, "Oh, we're about to find them." I can just sense that like, okay, the grass is getting thin, but there's a sandy bottom here, very low flow of
Yeah.
water. Like they're gonna be here. I can tell they're gonna be here, right?
No. Just I don't know. It's so weird to me now that I'm like looking back thinking about it. Back then when you're doing it, you're like, "Ooh, hell yeah. Some berries. Hell yeah." But like now thinking about it, I was just outside and I saw I mean, I guess that's not weird in like the grand scheme of things, but like you're just outside and you're like, "Ooh, there's some berries. I'm going to pick them and eat them." Like
Also, too,
that's how people die, dude.
it
You know?
oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't want to get the wrong berries, right? The poison versus poison, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to get into that situation, but also somebody had taught us that it was okay to eat these.
Yeah, I
I
know.
thought I thought you were more referring to like it used to like cuz we were brought up in a very like make sure to wash your hands, make sure every
Yeah.
surface is fucking sterile, right? Like all
Yeah.
these things. So it used to weird me out a little bit that people would just like pick fruit and eat it off the tree, or pick, which we did, but or pick berries and eat them off the tree. Because
Well,
like,
we did eventually
no, I know, but what I'm
once we
saying
saw
is,
someone else do it and knew that it was okay.
what I'm saying is though is like that weirded me out at first because you're like, oh, what if there's like bugs on it or there's dirt or
Mm,
whatever. But like in the grand scheme, now that I'm older, in the grand scheme of things, like it's not the bugs and the weather and all that shit that's contaminating our fruit. It's us. Like
yeah.
we're the problem. So it's
Yeah.
probably significantly safer just having wild berries or wild apple tree. We used to, I know we're getting way off in the weeds, but
What?
in college, go ahead.
Uh, I think like most of the time when you wash it after getting it from the store or whatever, it's probably to really get other people's touch off of it.
Yes,
I think
and
that's the main thing.
wax
And
and things in
whatever preservatives stores have put
correct.
on it.
So yes, honestly, it's probably the safest way to get it straight from a tree. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude, this is the last story on fruit, and then we can move on to something else that's remotely fruit. We used you ever had a muspelus? Did we talk about this yet?
A muspelus?
I don't know, dude. We called him a muspelus. I'm pretty sure
That's
there's
a,
like a real name for him,
that's a dangerous name.
like a Japanese something or Chinese something. It's like a loquat. I don't know, but anyway,
Ooh.
it was called a muspelus, and there was these trees, dude, that would just get so weighted with them. I'm talking like where the branches and shit would snap. And there was this one house on the corner that had like a low chain link fence. Not low, but like a regular chain link fence, 5 foot, whatever they are, 4 foot chain link fence. Dude, and you could see from a distance, and we were grown, right? We were in college, but from a distance, dude, when you were coming down the street, you had known when we had hit it because every single branch that hung over the fence, fucking empty, and everything was inside the fence still loaded with
All
muscovas.
the other ones were just, hey, we're pushing up. The other ones were
Yes.
still down.
Um, but yeah, because I don't know why we never knocked and asked if we could have them, whatever. But dude, anything that hung over that fence, dude, we would eat the shit out of
You're
it.
in college, you don't do that.
Yeah, and it had a very similar consistency to that of a blueberry. If you've never had a musculus.
Hmm. Was it bigger?
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. They're
Oh,
like the
okay.
size of they're bigger than grapes. They're like a kumquat or a loquat. It's
Okay.
basically.
Hmm. All right.
Anyways, that's my last little fruit stealing, organic fruit from the ground, not even blueberry related. Um, but speaking of blue,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like an official term for it or not, but I have a pretty severe phobia of being connected to other folks' Bluetooth or other folks connecting to my Bluetooth devices.
Yes. I have this same fear. Um, I don't know necessarily for the same reasons or not, but like, there's a lot of times where you're scrolling like Twitter or whatever and you're watching reels or what to put in reference, I live at
Inappropriate
home.
things? Spit it out.
I live at home with my parents, right?
Okay.
And all our TVs are connected to the Wi-Fi and stuff, right? All of our Bluetooth devices are all on, my phone has connected to all of them before. And so, I'll be scrolling Twitter or whatever and watching reels that maybe my parents might not find very funny, or
Gotcha.
very rude in context. And I'm always that or music that I'm listening to, right? Like I don't want to throw on some Wheezy on the JBL in the freaking living room, you know what I mean? I don't want to just have mom out there listening to some freaking
Mhm.
yeah, you know. Um, so that's one of my big fears is that like every time I watch a video or something, I always touch it again and make sure that I'm not like airplaying it to the living room TV or especially because sometimes videos like cut audio. Have you ever run into that?
What do you mean? Like the video, like
Like there's portions of the video for like 2 or 3 seconds that like lose audio and
oh
it
yeah, so
freaks me
immediately you're like,
out.
oh, it must be
Yeah,
going somewhere
it
else.
connected somewhere else, and so I'm like, oh no, you know,
Yeah,
and
dude,
then and then it comes back, and you're like, it's like a little mini heart attack for a second.
and the thing is, I get what you're saying. Like the fear isn't even that you're looking at something that's like inappropriate. It's the fact
No,
that you're just like, dude, it could literally be like it's
blasting
the
what you're
shit.
listening to
Well,
someone else.
and I'm not even talking about like Wheezy or anything like that. Like I just nerd out to very stupid things.
Yeah,
And so
yes,
like I'll just be
yeah,
watching it and they'll be like, is this guy watching them build a crane out of toothpicks and fucking insect saliva?
yes.
Who the hell is
It's
this?
oh my gosh, are you watching that for real?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh no. No, no, man, I was just
no,
talking
that's
about
not
gay
me.
football players. Talking about gay
Yeah,
football
yeah,
players.
100%, 100%. I'm very woke, dude. I'm very woke. I'm
Yeah,
not a weirdo.
but so that okay, and the reason I say this is because the way I think about this is like, dude, we just take for granted that like our shit's connecting. Like I don't even like I'm in a lot of rental cars, obviously a lot of airplanes. I'm gonna separate those two, but I want to talk about each one specifically. So when I get into a rental car and immediately, hands free, I'm trying to act safe, right? So I
Yeah.
will connect my phone to the rental and immediately it'll be like, do you see this code on your screen? Do you think I've ever checked that code? Fuck no. I just pressed the okay
Yeah.
immediately. So
Uh,
like, is it somebody else's phone that's right next to me and a lot full of people that are also connecting their device to the car that just connected to my shit? I don't know. And I
yeah.
sometimes the same thing will happen. I'll be driving down the road and I'm like, why are the directions still coming through my phone when I've linked it to the Bluetooth? And I'm like, oh, maybe I just clicked the
Oh
button too
no.
fast.
Yeah.
Somebody else's shit, like it. So that weirds me out a little bit. Is my phone ringing in somebody else's car? I don't know, right? At
Well,
least
I
while you're
mean,
in the garage.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
only
like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, why it's
You're
short
gonna
distance.
you're gonna be too far away at some point,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah, I
get
get
it.
what you're saying.
I get it. Okay, but that weirds me out a little bit. The second thing um, is like on planes now, it's gotten to the point where a lot of the um audio devices, like the TVs that are in the back of the seats, for years and years, it was like they had to provide you headphones or you had to have headphones with a jack. Excuse me. But now they're basically saying, oh, no, just Bluetooth to them. And I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, is Bluetooth that good? Where like 160 people with 160 different devices can just Bluetooth to these screens? I don't
yeah.
trust it.
Bluetooth is so weird to me.
Yeah, like how does it know? Like, dude, how is it not getting lost in the ether? Like my
Yeah,
signal isn't mixing with somebody. I don't know how it works,
that's
but
yeah. It blows my mind because like like most remotes that you have well, I don't know about anymore, but I know for like the longest time were infrared, right?
yeah,
So it was you point the remote at the TV and it would do it. That's why you could for a long time Roku TVs were like that. They had infrared remotes. So you
yeah.
could use any remote on any TV without having to pair it, really,
Oh, I
as
didn't
long
know
as you
that.
pointed it. Yeah. And so that's how like a lot of back when you were younger and you were watching a DVD or something, and like I know this has happened to me at least, but like you would grab a different remote and press pause and it would work.
Oh, yes.
That's because it's infrared. But
Okay.
but it blows my mind that Bluetooth isn't like that and that everybody has their own signal. Like what?
Dude,
How?
and the other thing is just the sheer volume. I mean, think about a plane. Everybody now has earbuds in. It's either connected to their phone or connected to the TV or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
How
it's
how are they
crazy.
not getting confused?
Think about the amount of people in New York City that have AirPods in or Galaxy Buds in or whatever every day walking the sidewalks in New York City, talking on their phone or listening to music or listening to an audiobook, and none of that meshes? Are you
I
kidding
don't.
me? You
And
don't
the
walk
other
by somebody and get a piece of a little audiobook from Neil deGrasse Tyson or some shit, you know?
And I think the phobia is this. I don't remember if you remember way back when Bluetooth was like becoming a thing, but like it was very shoddy
Oh,
in how good.
there
I
was
I don't
so
want to
many
say like,
conspiracy theories about it too.
oh, I don't remember those, but I mean like I just remember trying to connect something. I remember like being a a later adopter because when it first came out, I was like, "Oh yeah, let me just Bluetooth connect it," and then it would never fucking work.
Yeah,
And I was like, "Damn it!" So like in my mind, that was like, "Oh, if it's too shoddy to connect, then my signal once it's connect is probably
probably gonna be
vulnerable." I don't know
bad.
why that's what.
Mm.
Um, so like that was always just like a fear thing. I don't know, but like the thing that's crazy now is like I could have randomly connected to like we did karaoke one time in like Buffalo and like we had to connect to this freaking Bluetooth system so that we could get the freaking words on our phone. This was like 5 years ago. I was recently back in Buffalo and I was like, oh, dude, we should stop and get some hot wings at this place. They have killer hot wings. And when I went in, immediately my phone was like, do you want to connect to XYZ advice? And I was like, fuck, dude, you
Mm.
remembered that I Bluetooth to this one?
This isn't even the
It
same
was
phone.
yeah, dude. It was like the basically the equivalent of like a old school JBL speaker slash monitor or whatever. But I was like, dude, that's how good the technology has gotten. He was
That's
like, we
creepy.
remember you, and I was like, no, you don't. Get out of here. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want you to remember. Yeah,
You know what else is weird too that's kind of close to that is hotspots, like mobile hotspots.
yeah,
I'll just be like out in public and randomly get a notification on my phone saying, "Do you want to connect to this person's like this hotspot?" And I'm
yeah. I
like,
know.
"No, I don't. If I wanted to connect to a hotspot, I would go and look for it. I don't want
Yeah,
to just be notified about, you know, Tush Pusher 2.0's hotspot. You know what I mean?"
bet you wish you could get connected
Yeah.
3.0 biatch.
Yeah,
No, I
exactly.
back to that.
I don't need none of that, man. No, but the you don't remember like back when Bluetooth was starting to take off, they went through those big conspiracy theories that everyone went through with cell phones at the beginning in general. Where like,
Like
you
it
know,
was
when
gonna give
cell
you
phone, yeah,
cancer or
when cell
something.
phones first came out, they were like, "Don't call me on my cell phone, man, because I'm gonna get cancer from this." Putting it up to
Yeah.
my ear,
Well,
and then the same thing happened with Bluetooth. They were like, "Well, it's gonna give you like that's gonna give us cancer. We don't need to put things in our ears with wireless." And now no one gives a shit. Let's be honest with ourselves. There's a lot
dude,
more things in the world that are gonna give us cancer than Bluetooth earbuds.
listen, I also hate to say this, and I'm not calling out any specific generation, so cover your ears if you're easily offended, boomers. But like essentially, you're talking to an entire generation of doctors who were smoking like a carton of cigarettes a
Yeah,
week, and they're like, "That shit,
yeah,
nope, fucking Bluetooth, it's gonna
no,
get you. It's gonna get you." You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Bluetooth is
I
horrible
just,
for you.
I get
Mowed
being
down
like
a pack in a 30-minute.
interview, but I know we were trying to be proactive in like this could hurt you. Like I'm all for that, but like also you only know what you know. Like it's
Yeah,
only like we only know what is going to kill us right now. We don't know all the things that we're putting out right now that are going to kill us in the future. Dude, this what okay, this is way off topic. We didn't want to cover this and I know we got to get to like a point where we start talking about how magnificent of a rating that this blueberry deliciousness is going to bestow upon you guys. But we've been watching a show about wrongful convictions, okay?
mm-hmm.
Which obviously, you know, the Innocence Project's been around for a long time. Wrongful convictions unfortunately happen. But the crazy part about this show is, and I don't even know what it's called because obviously it was one of those things that Katie put on. I was like, this is going to be straight fucking trash. I'm not watching this. And then immediately I fell in love with it. But it's about forensic evidence that's faulty because we, you know, as technology improves, we understand the flaws within our forensic capabilities. And it's
Yeah,
crazy because dude, you think about forensic evidence now and you're like, "Oh, you're done. You're done." Like there's
yeah,
forensic evidence that ties you to this, you're convicted. And I don't need to ask any other questions. But honestly, there are some, not all of them, obviously, but there are some flaws in the system. One of them was like teeth biting, like teeth bite imprints and stuff like that. It was
okay,
just trippy to me because everybody was hating on all of these doctors and all of these professionals that helped convict these people. But at the end of the day, they only knew like they knew the exact science of what they knew and it was widely accepted as being the right science. Kind of like when cigarettes were good for you because they relieve stress, right? Like that's what
yeah.
we knew. We didn't know anything other different. So it's very intriguing. But long story short, we got off topic. Bluetooth's not going to kill you, although I think there should be an official phobia for people that are scared to be connected to somebody else.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, right? The other thing too is like, how, I mean, obviously you can go in and like delete certain devices from being in the Bluetooth memory of certain
Yeah.
things, right? Like I can go onto my Wi-Fi network and be like, "Hey, forget these devices," so that they don't connect automatically anymore. You can do the same thing with Bluetooth, and you know, we got the new van about 4 years ago now, and there's still three. The people that owned it before us, three of their phones are still connected to the radio, just because we haven't, you know.
Did you have you disconnected them now?
No, we've never really done it.
Dude, because I will tell you this, this has happened to me multiple times and it's trippy and this helps fuel the phobia. Okay? There are times where I will be in the office, right? So just as a layout, office is here, there's like a corridor, there's like a dining room, mud room, and then the garage. There have been times where earbuds are in, talking on my phone, all right? Having a conversation with somebody that, you know, a customer, having a conversation, and then all of a sudden it goes blank. And I go, oh shit, I must have lost them. And I look down, I'm still connected, but guess what? Now it's connected to the Yukon. And the Yukon is
Oh
backing out of the
gosh,
driveway. And so Katie is in the Yukon trying to be as silent as possible because
and
now there's a man she's never talked to that's coming over the
talking.
speakers.
Yeah,
And she doesn't want to be like, hey, my car connected to my husband's phone. And
yeah.
so like and the thing is, once it connects over there, there's nothing I can do from my phone to get
To
it
bring it
back.
back, yeah.
No, bro, you can't.
You just gotta
Um
wait for her to back it out and get far enough away.
or she has to hang up on it, and I immediately have to call them back.
Yeah.
So that is what fuels the phobia fire, and that's also a very now I've just disconnected from the Yukon, so that's not even a
Yeah.
issue anymore. But like that shit that could
But that's
happen.
annoying.
Oh, it is.
You should be able to set priorities for Bluetooth.
Dude, okay, another thing that's annoying is I pretty much live my life with the AirPods in, okay? I wish it was
Mm.
smart enough to know that like right now based on what he's doing, it should be connected to his computer. Or right
Yeah.
now, it should be connected to his phone
Well,
because I
the
guarantee
crazy
you
thing
it's
is,
batting 1,000 in connecting to the only thing that I'm not fucking using
yeah,
at that point.
the crazy thing is technology is that smart, but it's not in our phones. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's wild to me. As
It
somebody who uses right, I can't really put my phone up to my ear to answer phone
yeah.
calls. As somebody who uses voice control on their phone a lot, there's a way to set your phone to where when you answer calls, it will automatically go to speaker, which is what I have it set to. Or you can set it to automatically go to Bluetooth device, right?
Okay.
But you can't set a priority right now, which is annoying to me. So like when I have my headphones on, these headphones that I use for the podcast, and I answer my phone, it goes to speaker
Speaker.
instead of my Bluetooth device. I wish there was like a way to set like, hey, if I'm connected via Bluetooth, then go to that. If not, then go to speaker. You know what I mean?
You're out. Listen, all good ideas come from dude. We're constantly spitting them. So
Awesome.
Apple or Alexa or all of the other fuck Google, everything else
Yeah.
that's listening right now that controls our lives and what we experience on a day to day advertisement scale, figure that shit out. That's all we're
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah. Another creepy thing that I experienced over the break from the podcast, via Bluetooth, kind of, I guess, maybe that or Wi-Fi, was we were out at the beach house in Galveston for a
Yeah.
couple days, and every time I was there, we'd be like watching TV. Right, we'd rented this beach house from somebody, and we were watching football, and like randomly on the TV, it would stop, and it would be like message from master bedroom, and it was like there was somebody talking, and it was like, hey, where are you at? And we would be like, all right, whatever, and we would change it, right, put it back on the game, and then like an hour later somebody would respond, and it would be like message from bedroom, and it was like this little girl that was responding, and we were like, what the hell is going on? The only thing that we could figure out is that it was the owners of the beach house that were still connected to their Alexa device. Like, we don't understand what was going on, and so we were really
Listen,
freaked
dude.
out.
Listen, bud. Okay. For those of us, I don't know if you remember, like, fucking back this up 20 minutes. When I said I have a phobia of being
Yeah.
connected to, I needed like all of the reassurance that this was a fake thing, that like I didn't need to be
No,
concerned with
I'm
this.
sorry. I agree with your phobia.
So, dude, here's the thing, okay? I don't do it often, but there are times where I will connect to the TV at the hotels, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wonder how many hotels across the US are just getting like messages that I'm also getting.
Do you forget to log out?
Bro, you think I've ever logged out of a hotel TV? Who's got that fucking type of time?
If you ever log into any device that's not yours, you should always figure out the time to log
Yeah,
out.
I get it, and you shouldn't click on phishing schemes,
Yeah,
and
well,
I
we're
get
all
it.
guilty of
Okay,
that one. We all fall
listen,
for those sometimes.
exactly. So I'm
But this is
justified in my phobia.
no, well, yeah, you're very justified in your phobia, but you're not justified in not logging out of your things before you leave a hotel.
Well, I'll do it now, but what's done is done, dude. The
What's done
damage.
is done. I don't know. I'm sure some hotels probably log out of everything at some point, but Also, it depends on like how are you logging? Are you just logging in via Wi-Fi, or are you
Dude,
connecting via
I don't
Bluetooth?
listen. We can dive deeper into this offline, if to use an office saying,
Okay,
because I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed.
we
You
can
know what
put
I
a
mean?
pin in that and
You
come
got
back to it
you got
later.
yeah, we can put a pin in that because you've got small children talking through the TV at the beach. I don't need to hear that shit,
It
dude.
was
I
creepy.
don't need to hear that
It was
shit.
creepy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like it happened a few times where it was just like message from kitchen, and we were like, "Who messed with the Alexa?" But there was no Alexa. It was it was a Fire TV. So I think what happened was the owners were just connected to it, like their account, and things were just getting sent through it because they
Bro,
forgot to
but
disconnect.
but I don't. Maybe that's some next level shit. Like, I'll just worry about my Bluetooth because this seems like it's on a different level. Like, I don't get messages through the TV.
Well, no, you don't. But like, you think about now, like at our house right now, uh, we have like smart plugs to turn on and off lights and
Yeah, for
whatnot.
sure.
I can turn those on and off from wherever I'm at because they're connected to the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
So I think that's all it was that they were still connected to the TV and they just didn't know. But we had no way to fix it, so we just had to keep dealing with it and going back
And
and putting it back
listening
on
to their
football.
messages.
Yeah, it was creepy, dude. It was really creepy.
All right, well, let's move on to something a little bit happier.
Well,
Like,
it's time for us to get into the WWYBDs, actually.
yeah. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm going to let you take the reins.
All right. So this one's not going to be like super, super, probably like relatable. But this reminds me of again when I was in college. Occasionally, we would have these big like weekends where like 40, 60 of us would get like this retreat center and just go rowdy at this retreat center. You know, like ropes courses and like capture the flag and shit like that. This to me would be a sitting around at a table playing cards late at night, and very specifically all day you've done like obstacle courses, ropes courses, you've done team building shit. Everybody comes in, takes a shower, you're clean, you're back in the common room. This kind of sounds cultish, but it's not. But like you're back in the common room, you're sitting around plastic tables, you're throwing cards, you're talking shit, you're listening to. We were always listening to a football game on the radio. This is what I would be drinking because it would be seasonally in
Yeah.
place. It's light, it's delicious, it is long term drinkable, but you don't feel like you need to drink them fast, and you're not in it to for quantity either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, that's pretty valid. I think for me, this is like a you know, at certain towns have like the gaslight district where you're like walking around. It's kind of like like a downtown area. You're
Yeah.
like walking shop to shop. You're kind of hitting bars or whatever on the way. Uh, this is like a walk in the gaslight district beer. You know what I mean?
You know
Like you
what?
have this and you're chilling.
As
You
soon
know?
as you said it, I thought of every town that Katie and I've lived in that was like Denton had a big square, right? College town, but it had like a square,
Yeah.
and you would walk that square. Or even like Fort Worth, right? There's like the stockyards, but then there's like the downtown square area. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. It's not so much that you're consuming it. I don't want to take it away from you, but it's not so much that you're consuming it while you're in somewhere, but
No,
it's like
you're
an
from
atmospheric on the
place to
way.
place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's
that's a
like
way better WWYBD than I had.
even here in the Woodlands area, you know, you got Market Street. Like I could see myself, and the weather, you know, it's like the kind of what we got today. You know,
A
like
little bit warmer though. Yeah, well, today was
60s,
good. Yeah.
yeah, like mid to high 60s. I think is like my with the sun out. You know what I mean? I specifically saw myself actually in Galveston at the Strand. Like that's where I
So
pictured myself, but
I don't. I think yours is tremendously more accurate than mine was. I almost wish that I could take yours, but um, the other thing is I don't see it so much beachy. I see it more like
Mm,
you know, inner city, not inner city, but like even like Conroe, right? Like where the what is the corner pub and all that stuff,
yeah.
the Red Brick Tavern and all that stuff that's out there. That
Mm,
little strip, you know what I'm talking about over there?
yeah. I wasn't necessarily like seeing the beach. It was just like those. It's just because I've most recently been to the Strand,
Yeah,
but it was just like the way it's laid out. You know what I mean? Like you're walking up and down the street. The beach wasn't necessarily involved. It was just kind of the weather and everything like that.
yeah,
But yeah,
touche.
and I'm definitely like in this vision. I'm drinking it out of the can.
See, I'm
I'm
not.
not.
I
I'm
think
not drinking a draft.
see, I'm thinking I'm thinking pint. I would
Mm,
love to have this on draft. I know we say that about a lot of beers, but like this one I feel would only get better. I mean, a lot of things get better on draft, but like this one I think could take you could add 5 points to what I'm probably about to spit if it was on draft.
yeah. Speaking of the points, let's get into the ratings here. I'll go first for this.
Send it.
Um, Entry, I have a 4, and the only reason I have it at a 4 is because I think that the aftertaste is better,
Yeah.
and I couldn't give the aftertaste a 6. So entry is a 4, aftertaste is a 5. I think it's delicious on both ends. Body, I did give it a 6. I think I've only had maybe one or two other blueberry lagers, but this is how I want them to taste, you know? And so I
Yeah.
think, maybe one day I come across one that's better, but this is right now,
It'd be hard.
yeah, this is my ideal blueberry lager flavor. Color, I'm giving it a 5. I think, other than the murkiness that you get from a craft, I think it's pretty
Yep.
spot on. The head was great on it. Bitterness, I'm kind of on the fence. I do have it at a 4, because I think it is pretty bitter. At least in the first can. Once I get to the second can, it kind of wore off a little bit, and I wasn't tasting as much bitterness. But I'm gonna give that a 4. Acidity, I'm giving it a 5. I think it's. I mean, it's supposed to be fruity. It is fruity. It's delicious. I have no complaints really there. I'm just kind of holding out hope that maybe, maybe something is a little bit better. And fizz, I'm giving it a 4. Uh, I didn't have a lot of burps per se this episode, but every single one of them was delicious. So I have no complaints. That brings my total to a 33. Um, I would buy this again pretty much anytime I saw it.
Yeah, so we have different formulas, but got the same answer. Um,
Okay.
so essentially, I would definitely buy this again. I would recommend it strongly. I will seek it out. It's not a fridge sitter. I will tell people about it even if I don't have it at the house and it's not seasonally available. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. Um, but entry, I have it a 5 only because I talked a little bit at the beginning about it's got the muffin mix, but also beery, but separate, and you get all that at the intake. I know it sounds crazy to be like, oh, it's a beer, but also it's blueberry infused and it's got the richness of a bread, but it has all of that. Whether you like them or not, you're gonna enjoy it. So I have that at entry at a 5. Aftertaste, I have it a 5. I don't know if it like it starts at a 5 for me and it ends where it needs to end. Like I maybe it could be a 6, but like I don't know if it got any better. It just did what I wanted it to do. Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
keep aftertaste at a 5. Body, I have it a 5. Coats very well. Has a full thickness to it. It's not overwhelming. It's not underwhelming. There's not a wateriness to it. That's just great. Color, I have it a 5. Um, Bitterness kind of similar. Like I think for bitterness, I do have it a 4. Only because like I could do a little more. Again, this is 100% subjective, okay? But I could do a little bit more and still be happy. I think there's room for bitterness, let's put it that way. There's room for acidity and it would still be good. Um and then fizz I do have a 5 only because it had a very thick full head. I got some immediate burps up front in the middle when I was drinking, they kind of dropped off a little bit. And then as I slowed down, they started coming back, and I was like, oh shit, I should have some more sips. So it kept me on task. My total comes to a 33.
What was your score for a city? I guess I missed it.
4.
4. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, this is incredible. I think also I was kind of basing my bitterness on like a lager scale,
Hmm.
right? And there's some lagers that are pretty bitter, but like for the most part, to me, they're pretty like middle of the road, bitterness wise, you know. And I feel like this one was like a little bit more bitter than like a standard lager,
And
at least for the first can.
and some of that could come from the acid. I don't know, acidity, bitterness. We're interchanging them, but
Yeah,
some of that could come from the acidity of the blueberry,
it
right?
could, it could, and it probably
Tannins, a
does.
lot of skin. We talked about that. A
You
lot of
know,
skin.
yeah, you know that's honestly where probably a little bit of the bitterness comes from for me is the
Yes.
blueberry skin.
Yeah.
So, anyways, incredible beer. Again, we will be seeking it out, purchasing it if we see it. If you enjoy blueberry, you should try it. If you enjoy beer in general, I think you should just give it a try, anyways.
I I think I cannot stress enough how much you win either way. Like even if you're not a blueberry fan, you're gonna enjoy this. If you're a blueberry fan, you're definitely gonna enjoy it. Um, it's very weird how it plays on everybody's like it almost lets you tell it what it's worth. It's kind
Yeah,
of weird.
it kind of does. 2 for 2 on the Stesties, man. On the
Dude, and
pod.
like I said, I think I've had 4 and they're all fucking slamming. So
Incredible. They're doing great stuff out there. If you see a Stesty, grab it, give it a try. It's time for me to tell you to go follow us on social media on Twitter and TikTok at Off the Tap Pod, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Off the Tap Podcast.
the Stesties might be blue. The bitterness might be impacted by excessive Stesty skin, but they're delicious nonetheless.